Now, prematurely, I covered Nancy Pelosi and the HEROES Act. And I only said prematurely because I was scathing with her, but I should have been even more scathing. Because the HEROES Act Nancy Pelosi is trying to pass, that she's introducing, according to The Intercept, ain't nothing but a bailout for more corporations. Here goes the article entitled, HEROES Act delivers a win to the health insurance industry. Now, we're talking about an industry that's profitable as hell. We're talking about billions of dollars. We're not talking about an industry that's hurting. At least the airline industry, as you can imagine, is about to go out of business. But even if with the coronavirus, if people show up at the hospital, the government was picking up the tab for people who were getting tested, right? So why are we bailing out the insurance industry when they're getting paid? Nancy Pelosi. That's why. Because Nancy Pelosi is a scumbag. Because Nancy Pelosi can't be trusted. Because the House Democrats are corporate Democrats. They're the corporate wing of the Democratic Party. They are Republicans who are worse than Republicans because they're Republicans who deny that they are Republicans. Get it? So we all know Republicans look out for their money. There's an old saying. When you get a certain age, everyone's a Republican. You know, an age when you own a house, you got to pay taxes. When you're a kid, you're a Democrat. As you get older, you become a Republican. That's the saying. Doesn't apply to me. I'm neither. But you know, you get the point. The thing with these corporate Democrats is that they're Republican through and through. You just don't know it. It's really sneaky. It's scumbaggery that's being done here. So here goes Nancy Pelosi talking about this CARES Act one more time so people can understand this language that she's using, but what she leaves out about, and don't worry, I'm not going to play a lot of it. I wouldn't do that. But I want you to compare that to the clip I'm going to play after that.
Face the biggest catastrophe in our nation's history. Setting aside how we got here, we must approach this tragedy with the deepest humanity as we go into the future. All of our hearts are broken by the loss of life. The number of 33 million Americans who have filed for unemployment insurance is almost unimaginable. This is a moment when many millions of our fellow Americans are in deep suffering. We must have empathy for our heroes, the healthcare workers, for how exhausted and how stressed they are in doing their jobs. Add to that, they may lose their jobs in this economy. We must also empathize with the pain of families who do not know where their next meals are coming from and how to pay next month's rent. It is imperative that we address the needs of the American people with clarity on how we proceed. That is why today, House Democrats are introducing the HEROES Act, named for our heroes, whose provisions are largely based on the 4 previous bipartisan bills we have passed. The HEROES Act focuses on 3 pillars: opening our economy safely and soon, honoring our heroes, and then putting much-needed money into the pockets of the American people.
All right, according to The Intercept, which you should have said, there was a 5th pillar. And that 5th pillar was bailing out the insurance companies. Yeah, it says that here, according to this article, the HEROES Act includes protections for employer-sponsored insurance plans, which the healthcare industry has been lobbying Congress on for weeks. Yeah, so the insurance premium companies have been going to Congress to try to get their language put in, to get a stipulation put in to help them. And that's who Nancy Pelosi is fighting for really here. So any money that's being allocated for these insurance companies should have been allocated, more of that should have been allocated to working people, right? And these small businesses, which she says that she gives lip service to. Now, I struggled to listen to Nancy Pelosi go on and on and on here. And I don't know what was going on with her with the Botox or with the plastic surgery, but a lot's happening. A lot's going on. She went to the same place Joe Biden went to. Must be something on the hill or some, I don't know, a place to drive through, a virtual place you get your face done or something. Plastic lady. So, but the point is, I didn't hear anything in those tapes, anything in that recording, as long as it was what she's honest about, she's bailing out the insurance companies. So that'd be too much like right, okay? The proposed legislation includes subsidies for continued coverage for furloughed workers and people using COBRA. A continued health coverage plan for those who have lost work, even if they don't pay their premiums. So they want to make it so that here's the deal, guys. Say you're not working, right? You're not working because your company laid you off, right? Furloughed you. Okay. Nancy Pelosi, in this bill, she allocate money to give to the insurance companies so that you will have to pay premiums, so that they will pay the premiums for those insurance companies. So let's say whatever that is deductibles or whatever you usually pay out of your paycheck. Oh, they want to make sure the insurance companies gets those. Yeah, we want to make sure the insurance company continues to get paid from you, even though you're not working. So we're going to pay the employees, or we got to make sure we pay insurance companies too, because they're people. Yeah, they're people. They're not facing getting kicked out of their homes, Johnson. They're not people that are facing. Excuse me. They are not. The people that work for insurance companies are not facing the same hardships that working people are working who cannot work. Know how I know? I know because the push to protect insurance premiums comes as some healthcare companies like United Health, Humana, and Cigna have reported profits during the pandemic amid the record high unemployment, and have boasted that they don't expect to take a financial hit. Nancy Pelosi is forcing money in the hands of the insurance companies. What I'm trying to tell you is insurance companies like, oh, we good, man. Wow, that was a great piece of pie. Man, I'm telling you, man, I didn't know you could throw down like that. And that ziti, oh, my goodness. That is something else, man. I'm going to tell my mama, oh, man, and the meatballs, woo, I'm full. I couldn't eat another bite. And she's like, yeah, you could. What, you want some pizza pie? Don't you want some cheesecake? Like, nah, man, we good, man. Like, we just ate. We good. No, I really want you to eat a piece of pie. She sound more like that. I really want you to eat a piece of pie because it's a good piece of pie. You want to eat a piece of pie? You just do it. And all the pieces of pie is really good. We did a lot of cooking. Me and Chuck Schumer, we did cook a lot of piece of pie. And then we did a piece of pie. Like, lady, please, I can't eat no more. I'm over here. I'm fat over here. I can't eat anymore. I had a piece of pie. It'd be really good to eat more piece of pie. Y'all must feel a little bit insulted. And you got to eat that piece of pie with a piece of pie. Why won't you eat a piece of pie? With a piece of pie, delicious. Ooh. I don't have eyebrows. I can see into the future. Is that you, Jesus? Hi, Jesus. I'm Nancy Pelosi. I will outlive my usefulness. Now, if you want to hear a public servant that's actually fighting for the people, it sounds a little bit like this, Johnson.
In is because we have not thought about the reason that we are in the situation that we're in is because we have not thought about the strategic goal of stopping mass unemployment, keeping paychecks in workers' pockets, and helping businesses survive this crisis without letting banks, for example, pick winners and losers. I read the stories of Melba and Triness, and I think that they reflect what I've been hearing from small businesses across the country and, frankly, workers of any size businesses, which is that they really need relief to go directly from the IRS to workers, guaranteeing their paychecks up to a certain salary cap and allowing businesses to have a certain amount of money that can go into their fixed costs, which have to continue no matter what. So our paycheck guarantee proposal would allow for any size business, no winners or losers here, any size business, but the people that benefit the most will be small businesses who don't have banking relationships, who aren't banked already. They can go directly to the IRS and using their previous tax filings, so no additional paperwork really that's needed, they can say, okay, I've got revenue loss of 70%. And then a grant amount would be calculated, not a loan, not a maybe forgivable loan, but a grant amount would be calculated for a lump sum of 3 months of salary and benefits, plus times the revenue loss, plus an amount for operations. And that would continue until unemployment reaches 7% for 3 months straight. That's a level of certainty that businesses don't have. And when you think about who the PPP has left out, it's a lot of small businesses. 95% of Black-owned businesses have not been able to get support. And all of the structural flaws of the program have meant that relief is not going to where it should go. It's not going to the hardest hit places that have suffered coronavirus, and it's not going to the places where unemployment is the highest. So we desperately need another solution, and we need it with urgency, because 33 million unemployed is a stunning number. And we need to put certainty in businesses' pockets and preserve that relationship between businesses and their employees, and also help keep employees on health care when they already have it through their employer. Very excited about this proposal, but we have to get it in now.
Okay. So that's what it sounds like when someone actually cares about the people. That's what it sounds like. Not a lot of airy talk. I heard a lot of airiness and platitudes coming from Nancy Pelosi. Same way Joe Biden talks. Nothing's concrete. Nothing's bam. This is what we're talking about. This is the actual thing we're trying to do. Not about the feelings, but about what we're trying to do. She says here, the small business relationships. If you have a small business, you don't have a relationship with a bank that you can get a loan. These are people that mostly are impacted by what's happening now. They have not been substantially taken care of, supplemented for what's been happening with the furloughs, with the layoffs. And another thing that's not being mentioned much is, even if you let people go back to business, you let businesses open up at a quarter, was it 25%, I think it was? In most states, 25% reopen rates, like in restaurants. And if you got 100 seats, you got 25 of them that you can fill at a time. That does not mean that you're going to be in business 6 months from now, just because you reopen. I mean, we're talking about people taking up such a financial hit that they are still crushed. Just reopening Tucker and everybody else doesn't mean it's going to change everything, okay? So what Pramila is suggesting, Jayapal is suggesting, Ms. Jayapal is suggesting here, Congressperson Jayapal, let me get it right the third time. Congressperson Jayapal is saying that what we need to do is we need to make sure these businesses, small businesses and working people, can stay living in their homes and can keep their medical coverage and can sustain. She said for 3 months, when the unemployment rate drops, we still want to keep it going. We want the unemployment rate, everybody go back to work for at least 3 months. At under 13%, under 7% unemployment rate. And look, this is better than so when we talk about mitigation is not just wearing a mask. This should also be a part of mitigation. The folks that are out there protesting, this should be the other side of it as well. You have paid into a system your entire life. Not just you, your parents paid into a system. My patriotic friend, all of you did. Your family, my family, we all paid into a system. Now we're in an unprecedented time in a situation that we did not create ourselves. You are thrust upon it. It is thrust upon us. We should not have to have this stress, this worry. Okay? We got everyone under the gun right now. And you should be looking at your government to mitigate this situation. We had the ability to do it. What's the point of being, I keep saying, people, what's the point of being a superpower? What's the point of being the most profitable country, the most successful company, the most amazing, all this stuff? What's so good about being great if at the end of the day when you have a pandemic and you print your own money, you don't print enough money to take care of your citizens? You should rather see citizens die because they're over the age of 50 or whatever. Because they have diabetes, they get to die. Because they live in poor neighborhoods, they get to die. Because they're in a nursing home, they get to die. What's the point? You might as well go live in a third world country if you're going to die from the disease that could be mitigated in the country that you live in now. I don't understand. So the hardest hit places, which she pointed out, the hardest hit places, the hardest hit folks, the hardest hit businesses are not getting the subsidies. They say 95% of black-owned businesses are not getting the support. I mean, we could talk all day about structural racism A lot of people don't understand it. I look at it every day. It is what it is. This person knows this person, so this person gets a job. They get a leg up. They get this opportunity. Other people don't get that opportunity. They get that opportunity because their parents worked at this place or that place. And it just continues on. It even happens in independent media. This is the way things work. So back to this, guys. What we have to do is we have to open our minds up. So I'm done yelling at these people about protesting. I'm not going to focus on it. I think it's all a canard. Or a canard, a canard. Right? They want to give me the raw meat to go after. Meanwhile, folks, what they're doing is they're sneaking out the money to the insurance company out the back door. Nancy Pelosi's leading the charge. So I do want an act that takes care of people. I just don't want the pork in the act. Let's get the pork out the act. Ms. Congressperson Jayapal was saying that's what needs to happen. If you want to get that to pass the House, it needs to have the pork taken out so the progressives and others can vote for it.